Hello YouTube, it's been a while since I shared any travel stories, especially any travel stories related to my fishing adventures. When these cooler winter temperatures arrived this winter, I felt nostalgic about my time fishing in Kansas. I had lived in the Lawrence area for over a decade and just wanted to share what some of the best lake options you have that I experienced if you happen to live in the Lawrence, Douglas County area, or if you happen to be an avid out-of-state angler who just enrolled to one of the local universities and is moving into the area. There are plenty of lakes to choose from, and we will be determining the drive times to each lake by making the starting destination the University of Kansas. And the first lake that I will be covering on this list is Clinton Lake. This lake will probably be the most familiar lake to Lawrence residents. It sits to the southwest of the city. It is also the local area's primary source of drinking water. So if you plan to swim in it, which you can, and we will cover that later, and you're one of those people comfortable with taking a leak in public pools, please think twice about doing that because the residents of Douglas County would greatly appreciate it if you didn't partake in that activity in this lake. I just wanted to share some physical facts about Clinton Lake. Like, the surface area is over 7,000 acres and it has a maximum depth of 55 feet with an average depth of 7 feet. And would you believe that it would have over 85 miles of shoreline? And it is not named after Bill or Hillary Clinton. It was originally planned as a reservoir in the 1960s and was finally completed in 1975. It displaced the residents who resided in the floodplain in the local area. There is a small town named Clinton on the western shore, and that's how the lake and dam got its name. Clinton Lake is just a quick trip south down Iowa Street. Once at the intersection of Clinton Parkway, turn right, drive west all the way to the intersection of 900th Road. Once there, hang a left and you will arrive at the lake. Clinton Lake is also accessible via the Lawrence Loop if you are a bike rider. Two lakes are actually accessible, but we will cover that one later on. You can fish for catfish, bass, crappie, and other small fish species. There are several interesting locations on the east side of the lake. This includes the spillway, which releases water from the lake when the amount of water exceeds the lake's capacity. Only fish here if you are an expert level angler, because the waters that come out of the spillway are pretty fast. The spillway is the main source of water for the Wakarusa River. As you move down the river, you will run into one of my favorite sights at the lake. The man-made spillway transforms into a natural river zone that features an Ozark-like landscape complete with river rapids, steep cliffs, and thick woods. However, just be aware of the mud during rainy conditions. The lake also has Clinton Marina, built in 1980. There is plenty of boat access if you want to use a boat. Clinton Lake State Park has over 15 miles of trails if you like swimming. You can choose to go the extra 30 minutes to the west side of the lake. Here you will briefly pass through the local town of Clinton that we mentioned earlier before you find Bloomington Beach. And Bloomington Beach is probably the closest thing you will get to an ocean beach, as a Midwesterner. On this side of the lake, you will also find plenty of campsites and RV parking. Now we will be moving a little further out of city limits, south to Douglas County Lake. This lake is located about 20 to 30 minutes south of Lawrence. Either go south on Iowa Street, well south of the city limit, and get off on the Baldwin City exit, which is Highway 56, and travel east. Once you arrive at the intersection of 6th Street and Highway 56 in Baldwin City, take a left and continue north until you reach County Road 12. Continue east and you will arrive at the south end of the lake. You can also take a back way that involves traveling through the rural part of the county. When you put the location in Google Maps, it's really your choice as to what route you take. Anyway, Douglas County Lake supports the same type of fish as Clinton Lake. The lake has 5 areas to drop your boat off. It also offers several places to camp throughout the lake. However, you may be hard-pressed to find amenities for RVs. Douglas County Lake also has a northern side. However, it is a little bit out of the way, but it is worth the trip. While not as much as Clinton Lake, the area does offer a variety of options for hiking. I bring up hiking in this part of the lake because I feel the north side of the lake offers a more in-depth adventure into the thick woods that are concentrated in the countryside in this part of Kansas. There is one more lake directly south of Clinton Lake that I want to cover. Lone Star Lake is located to south of Clinton Lake. The lake has no affiliation to Texas. It is named Lone Star because of the shape of the lake. Travel south on Iowa Street to the intersection of Iowa and 1200th Road. Then turn right and keep traveling until you see County Road number 1 and turn left, and travel south on that road until you see the Lone Star Church on your right. Turn right at the 4-way stop located near the church. You'll then arrive at the intersection where you can either turn left or right, and that will take you around the lake. There is an RV park with campgrounds on the side of the lake opposite of the dam that you will have initially arrived at. Lone Star supports fishing for catfish, crappie, bass, and other small species. If you like to swim, Lone Star does offer a small area on the east side of the lake for you to swim in. Lone Star is further out into the rural countryside than the other lakes on this list. That's why I believe it is the perfect option if you are looking for a spot to get away from the city. Now we will head north to cover the next lake. Perry Lake is located to the north of Lawrence near the town of Perry. Drive north on Highway 59 until it transitions into Highway 24. Drive past the town of Perry until you reach County Road 237. County Road 237 will take you north until you reach Perry Lake. Now I want to share with you all some of the facts and dimensions about Perry Lake. It was built in 1964 and it has a total surface area of 11,146 acres, and its max depth is 43 feet, and it has a whopping shore length of 160 miles. Perry Lake offers the same opportunities to catch native fish species that are also found in the other lakes mentioned on this list. The lake is also home to a marina and has several options for boat docks. Perry Lake also offers 2 beach locations to swim. While this lake may be the only option that takes you outside of the county, don't forget to plan a potential weekend trip to this lake. The next lake we will talk about will be much closer as it is located within the Lawrence city limits. St. Mary's Lake is located within the Lawrence city limits, making it a nice destination if you don't want to travel too far outside of the city. Travel south on Iowa Street, and once you arrive at the intersection of 31st and Iowa, turn left once you arrive at the intersection of 31st and Haskell. The entrance to the lake will be on your right on 28th Terrace. The lake offers plenty of paths to walk, and it is the second lake connected to the Lawrence Loop. The lake isn't large enough to support any boats, so if you want to put your boat out on the water, tough luck. Matter of fact, it's the smallest lake on this list. This lake also has fish species found in the other lakes mentioned. However, you may have a more difficult time fishing in this lake. Now, we will cover the final lake on this list. Baldwin Lake is located to the south of Baldwin City. Repeat the same steps to get to Baldwin City as previously mentioned in the Douglas County Lake segment. However, take a right at the 6th Street intersection and continue south until you reach Orange Street, which then you will take a left. Continue east until you see a power station on your right. Well, it's one of those like power substations. Once you see that, turn right until you are on North 100 Road. Then go east for a mile and you will see the lake on your right. There is a driveway that cuts through the lake. The western side is much larger and offers more spots to fish and set up camp. There are no amenities such as bathrooms or power supply. There are 2 places to dock boats at on the western side of the lake. Then the lake offers opportunities to catch catfish, crappie, bass, and other species. If you are looking for a lake that isn't too busy on a holiday weekend, perhaps Baldwin Lake would be your best option. And while a lot smaller, the eastern half of the lake does offer opportunities to catch catfish. However, just be aware during the summer and warm seasons there will be a lot of moss because it just doesn't get as much circulation as the western half. Alright, that covers my overview of my favorite lakes that I have had the privilege of visiting during my 15-year stint in Lawrence. If this video was of any relevance to you, I appreciate that you took the time to view it. As always, thank you, and please don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this content.